For more than a month now, the Inspectorate of Government Regional Office in Mbale District has been butting heads with Mbale City authorities to avail documents related to the procurement or construction of key roads in the area. The tenders include the 69 million shillings renovation of the Sleeping Beauty roundabout along the Mbale-Tororo Road, for which beautification works, according to the IG officials, were under the supervision of the Mbale City spokesperson, but the city town clerk, the top technocrat, indicated had no idea about. All requests to the City Council to surrender, among others, the project bills of quantities have been disregarded. Works on the Circular Road junction started during the financial year 2020-2021, and 3 years later, there is no clear progress report whether it was completed or not. The second tender is the 1.3-kilometer Kaguta Road in Maledesel in Industrial Division, also in Mbale City. The road is named after President Museveni having used it as an escape route during the 1980s guerrilla war. By launching factories in adjacent Mbale Industrial Park in August 2023, the President tasked city authorities for it to be tarmacked. Rehabilitation, grading and compressing of the surface of the road started early this year, but sometime in March, residents apprehended the several individuals, including the Mbale City Roads Inspector, ferrying construction materials off the site.
Here made shadow work, and as he made shadow work, he even stole our property, our material which he was using, and we had to arrest him, and we took him to Nauyo police station. Then from Nauyo police station to CPS, Mbale CPS. And we don't know where the engineer, where that engineer went. But again, we continued while we went further away by making cries up to IGG's office.
We request the President himself to come over on the ground to see for himself. All these officials, be it district engineers, town clerks, are as good as useless when it comes to our concerns.
The residents handed over the suspects to police by the IGG lament that the roads inspector was bailed out by the city town clerk. The IGG eventually interdicted the roads inspector, who remains in office, while the court case is on the verge of being thrown out after city authorities failed to comply to testify against their colleague. Even for the civil works that were undertaken, residents are wary that it won't be too long before the road falls apart, the area local councillor told NTV.
The bridge is just incomplete, and even in the maram which they promised her to put, they have just put maram which is not even worth it. It was just as if they said that let us eat this money. So those people are corrupt, and even the road is not finished.
The road is the key artery for residents in Malere village to cross to and from Mbale City to the north, and its deplorable state previously had turned into a nightmare, particularly during rainy seasons, including hindering children from going to school on the side of the city. Farthest in Bulembe Cell in Nabuyong Ward in Mbale City Northern Division along the Mbale Kumi Road, residents living along the 3-kilometer Kampala Road have been choking on dust for years, while city authorities continue to promise to tarmac it.
Very challenging and shameful that we eat and choke on dust, but you see city authorities coming here to collect taxes from us. This is one of the busiest roads in Mbale City, but it is completely neglected.
The poor and shoddy state of local government roads in Mbale City to the east of the country cuts across the 145 districts and 11 cities, including Kampala, across the country. District and city authorities charged with the periodic maintenance are marred by allegations of corruption, and procurement wheeler dealing continue to lament that the money disbursed for road maintenance is inadequate. The Uganda Road Fund, the government agency mandated to finance routine and periodic maintenance of public roads in the country, also cites budget cuts.
The current funding of definitely is much below the required level. That's why roads continue to fall beyond repair, because the investments in maintaining already developed roads is very high. This is attributed to the inadequate funding by government, which is well known.
A report by the Parliamentary Physical Infrastructure Committee on the state of transport infrastructure, that is roads, bridges and railway in northern Uganda, tabled at the controversial August House sitting in Gulu this Wednesday, detailed that the roads network in most local governments was in fair to poor condition. The committee observed that in the financial year 2023-2024, the central government allocated 1 billion shillings to local governments for rehabilitation of roads, and this year, the same amount has been allocated, the report noted.
Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that government provides additional funding towards maintenance and rehabilitation of roads. Government provides supervision vehicles to the Works Department to facilitate supervision of road works and equipment. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to make this footnote. Northern Uganda has only one regional mechanical workshop, which is stationed here in Gulu, that supervises the entire Northern Uganda. The committee recommended that at least each sub-region be funded to have its own mechanical workshop.
Over the years, the government has been buying road equipment, motor graders, vibro rollers, wheel rollers and water browsers for distribution to local governments to facilitate periodic maintenance, but over time, stories have abounded of lack of money for fueling or servicing. In fact, several district headquarters are junkyards of these equipment. In 2012, the Ministry of Works spent $100 million to acquire Shanglin motor graders from China's Ford Group Corp. In 2017, the ministry procured another 1,151 pieces of equipment from Japan. In June this year, the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja handed over another 14 pieces of equipment that cost 34 billion shillings. The Mukono District LC5 chairperson, Reverend Peter Bakalaba Mukasa, said funding is the main stumbling block.
Government pronounces itself and it announces that we have sent you 1 billion, but it has not come instantly to help us do the work. And on top of using this 1 billion, it has also to service the machines we have. You buy tires, you have to buy other parts of equipment which is used on this road unit. That alone can cost almost 20 or 50 millions or 100 million or 200 millions depending on the service that has to be given. Then you are remaining with a small balance which has to work on many of these roads, and you find that we work according to the work plan.
This is reinforced by the Uganda Road Fund Board Chairperson Simon Amajuru Madraru.
Whenever I see new roads being created, my heart bleeds, because I know that's not a gazetted road. Because now it is the responsibility of the district to ensure that those community access roads which are created by the NGOs connecting refugee settlements, for instance, have to be gazetted into district roads so that they get funding for maintenance at the district status. Now, the district does not gazette road itself. It has to sit for a council meeting, and after that, they pass this to the Ministry of Works, and when the Ministry of Works looks at this, they now come up with maybe saying that, yes, I think this road can be upgraded into a district road from a sub-county, from a community access road.
But when you look around here in Mukono, it's a busy district. There is a lot of activities going on. Lorries ferrying sand, lorries ferrying cement, lorries ferrying building materials from factories. It is almost a developing industrial area, which means there is a lot of activity. People going to Kampala have to pass through some of our roads here to connect to Kampala because of the jam on the Jinja Highway. In that regard and respect, it makes our roads to erase very fast, to break down on top of the much rains at times we experience.
In the country's capital, Kampala, the less said about the state of city infrastructure, the better. Driving on many city roads is an excruciating experience amid fears of further deterioration due to heavy rains against the backdrop of unprecedented incompetence levels at City Hall. In West Nile, a large network of roads in the sub-region have become impassable due to poor maintenance coupled with the onset of the heavy rains, which is currently threatening the ferry operations due to the increased water levels. In the financial year 2020-2021, Obonje district received 283 million shillings after the indicative planning figures of 291 million shillings. This was for maintaining 113 kilometers of district roads and 117.3 kilometers of community access roads. During the following fiscal year 2021-2022, the district received the same amount for maintaining similar kilometers of road network. According to the releases by the Uganda Road Fund in the second quarter of the last financial year 2023-2024, the district received 77.5 million shillings, yet it had an indicative planning figure of 148.2 million shillings. District roads were allocated 15 million shillings against the indicative planning figure of 57.6 million shillings. Town council roads 9.4 million shillings against the indicative planning figure of 37.6 million shillings, while community access roads were allocated 52.9 million shillings. Neighbouring Adjumani district, according to the Uganda Road Fund last financial year 2023-2024 quarter 2 releases, received 193.8 million shillings against the indicative planning figures of 469.1 million shillings. The district roads were allocated 58.6 million shillings against indicative planning figure of 224.3 million shillings. Town council roads 36.7 million shillings against 146.3 million shillings, and community access roads were allocated 98.4 million shillings.
To be maintained annually. Due to inadequate funds, we are not able to maintain them annually, and that is the major challenge. Secondly, these funds are not enough to construct major drainage structures like box culverts, bridges, and the rest. And you realize water is an enemy of the road. Once it rains, it sweeps away the gravel. If you don't have proper drainage structures, these roads are eroded due to the heavy downpour, and this has greatly affected the district. Secondly, Adjumani being in a low-lying area, the type of soil that is on these roads is not a good one, implying that whenever it rains, the ground becomes, the soils are sandy clay. Therefore, when it rains a little bit, the soil is loose. For us to protect the base of the road, we need to have gravel. However, these funds not being adequate, we have not been able to gravel all these roads, implying that the roads, some of the roads are not continue deteriorating every year.
To the east, the Terego District Chairperson Wilfred Saka described the allocations as a big drop-up from 500 million shillings that the district has been receiving.
The challenge is that once we got the road maintenance fund from the 1 billion, the famous 1 billion, the other side it was a drop from the side of the Uganda Road Fund. First of all, the reason why we are given funds for road maintenance is the roads are bad. We need to improve on them, and I think as a district we have tried our best as Terego district compared to the UNRWA roads. It has helped us a great deal, and you asked what the challenges are. Our biggest challenge is the equipment.
Across the country, roads are falling apart, and recent heavy rains and flooding are accelerating what is already a rapid decline. Uganda's road network is estimated at 159,364 kilometers, out of which 138,142 kilometers, or 86%, are said to be district, urban and community access roads. Across majority local government administrations, there is even a bigger malaise. Corruption and collusion by the roads committees, going by audit reports by the Auditor General and PPDA. The District Roads Committee comprises all the MPs in the district, the LC5 chairperson, the district engineer, chief administrative officer, and the district engineers who are charged with preparing, planning, reviewing, and sanctioning tenders. A review of several reports by the IGG and PPDA reports indicates that sanctions have been recommended against district committee members of several local governments, but often, as soon as reports are shared, everyone moves on. The recent Auditor General's report submitted to Parliament in January detailed that 44 local governments planned to rehabilitate 8,994 kilometers of roads using routine manual, routine mechanized and periodic maintenance at a cost of 17.8 billion shillings, but only 5,773 kilometers, about 64%, were rehabilitated at a cost of 3.4 billion shillings. The broken roads and broken bridges network across the country comes at a time when the executive is pushing through its logic-defying plans to merge the Uganda National Roads Authority, UNRA, back to its parent Ministry of Works and Transport, which was established to facilitate construction and rehabilitation of roads nationally, and on the other hand, streamline Uganda Road Fund, which complements rehabilitation of roads at the districts through routine financing and periodic maintenance. The dysfunctional roads at the local government level particularly hamper children from going to schools, electorates accessing health facilities, or farmers ably taking their produce to the nearest town centers where buyers are converged, compounding poverty and social service delivery, a testament of the failed 27 years of decentralization and the long way Uganda has to coming nearer to the lofty dream of the 2040 vision of middle income. One of the criticisms against decentralization 27 years after it was first rolled out is that the quality of public service delivery remains less than desirable, while some district local governments are too poor to generate reasonable revenues which they send to the center and are reallocated and dispersed from the treasury every quarter of the year. This is peppered with the inefficiency, the hallmark of a dysfunctional public service, corruption, and the absence of proper accountability.